All right, well, here we is.
Another day, another dollar.
Tuesday the 20th. I think I remember this time.
You remembered it?
All right, well, I've been dealing with a lot of calendars. Well, here we are in the main part of the office, and it's a wreck around here. We figure it's no sense trying to sweep all this stuff under the rug. It's there. It's because prayer conference is coming up.
Prayer conference time.
And so we're under the gun. The clock is ticking. We're looking forward to a big weekend starting a Thursday night, and we'll talk more about it in just a minute.
Yeah.
But hey, how did things go this weekend? Where were you this
Things
weekend?
were great this weekend. I was able to go spend some time at Life Point Church in Mount Vernon.
Oh yeah, Kai
with
Hardy.
Pastors Kai and Grace Hardy.
Yeah.
And they're doing just a tremendous job there. They've got a beautiful facility, around 10 acres of property, and it had a beautiful blanket of fresh snow on it. And so it was wonderful. It was a great day, great worship service. They're just doing a tremendous job.
I'm proud of them. This will be their first prayer conference, so hopefully, I think they've been to a few of the events. Maybe some of the guys have gotten to meet them, but this will be their first. So they're a great couple. You'll look forward to meeting them. Now, and I'd forgot about this, but they're with child again, right?
I believe so. Yep,
Yeah. So
they are.
Grace is jumped in the family. This will be their third, I believe.
Yes.
So I guess it's too early to find out if it's a little boy or girl.
Sure.
Yeah, they got
Sure.
two boys right
They
there, if
do.
I remember right. Yeah. So Kai deserves a daughter. Isn't that right? He deserves a daughter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every married man needs a daughter. That'll
Needs
keep
at
him
least
straight.
one.
You've got one. You've got two and got a little boy
On the
coming.
way.
Yeah.
Very soon.
Yeah. Well, my plans were drastically changed. Sanja and I were going to be in Mount Vernon Saturday night. She was going to teach at a marriage event or something that Brother Pastor Kai had going, and so I was going to go down, and then we were going to leave spend the night there and go over to Fairfield. But boy, that strip right through there, the weather was really bad in Fairfield.
They got plowed with snow.
Yeah, so Brother Nobles thought it was wise, and I agreed to postpone the service. So here I was, no plans for the weekend. We really enjoyed Saturday. It was relaxing. Hadn't had a Saturday off in quite a while. And then we went to Granite City, dropped in, and I had not circled back around that when Brother and Sister Wyman, when I presented them to the church, I used Brother David May, one of our retired ministers. It was a very stable situation there, and I felt comfortable doing so. And so he took care of the vote for me because I was at another church, which was maybe a little more dicey. I needed to be there. And so I hadn't been back, and it was really good to be there. You haven't been to Granite. Well, I did take you over there.
We went over to see
for
the
a lunch.
beautiful facility.
Yeah, well, it's a precious group of people, and a couple unique things. The treasurer there, who has a glorious testimony under the previous pastor, Brother Mayberry, he and his wife, and just a wonderful gal. And anyway, they announced she got engaged to another man that got saved under the ministry there at Granite City. So it was nice to be there for that. And then another unique thing that, which should be an encouragement to all of our pastors. Everybody doesn't have an all-star praise band or choir, and they use a mix. They did even with Brother Mayberry. Brother Mayberry is a bit of a piano player, if I remember right, but they use the videos, the music, but they have a lady who is a good bassist, and so she's up there playing the bass along with it. So it's a little bit of a mix, and it works. I felt the presence of the Lord, and so the goal is not to be the best. The goal is to give your best.
Absolutely.
And God honors that. And so there was new people there. So it was a great weekend. It brought peace to my heart because I had not had a chance to circle back around.
Right.
When all that happened.
The Wymans they're doing a great job. They serve on our state youth board.
That's right. That's right.
They're doing a tremendous job.
They really are. So I left there pleased. And but anyway, well, we got a few things. At the prayer conference, we'll be giving out a lot of material. There's a lot of things coming up that, as you can figure, as you get through winter, the pace denominationally and locally begins to pick up, and so I'm not going to bore you with a bunch of dates today, but we will be pitching those things and giving them to you. They'll be on the web calendar, our website. They'll be on the calendar. We'll be updating that, and so But I do want to remind you, prayer conference, all nations, they're in Marion. I am really, I'm rooting for you guys and gals, and we need this. And I'm not, my ego and pride's not on the line. If you don't show up, I'm going to feel like I'm looking bad. I'm going to be upset at you. It has nothing to do with that. I want you to be there. I have two great guys that's going to be preaching.
Right.
I feel like the Lord's given me a message for Friday morning. Plus, I'm going to have a wonderful ordination service. We're going to have we were raising up three, if I remember right, three new bishops. And so it's going to be a special family time. We'll have a reception Thursday night after church to welcome the Browns. You'll get a chance. He's not much. I know, you can just look at him. But he's got a beautiful wife and just two beautiful daughters. And you'll want to meet Team Brown. They're precious, great
Looking
team.
forward to it.
And so Thursday night, all nations, great church. Talked to the pastor yesterday. They have been working hard to be ready for company.
A great job.
Yeah. And so I encourage you to be there, and I'll look forward to seeing you. So, and then it's not officially prayer conference, but we tie it in. It really is all a part of it. You've got a big event coming. Tell me about it.
I've got a tremendous event coming up. Our Equip IL is for our children's and youth leaders. Just a leadership conference.
Saturday.
That's Saturday afternoon. Saturday morning from 10 to 2 in that afternoon.
Sure.
We're going to provide lunch. And I'm just really excited about it. We got great enrollment this year. And kicking off that morning is Pastor Scotty Hager. He is the youth director in Tennessee. He's also a Friday night speaker for prayer conference. So he agreed graciously to stay
World
over.
World
And
class.
he's going to motivate and encourage our leaders. And then we'll take a small break and we'll come back and we'll do almost like a workshop setting that Kayla and I are going to lead, and just kind of some nuts and bolts of what has really worked for ministry and what maybe we should steer clear of because it could blow up in our face. And so we're excited about that. Then we'll eat lunch, and then I'll come back and motivate and kind of cast a little where we want to go and what I want to see, and try to just motivate and affirm our youth and children's leaders. And so I'm really, really looking forward to this weekend. And so it's going to be a great weekend, I do believe.
Well, I encourage you guys. I was there last year, a part of that. I may have stayed for the whole thing. I can't remember, but it was a great group and it was very good. And Brother Seth wouldn't say this, but you don't get to his position, he and Sister Kayla, without being great youth leaders themselves. And you were a very successful youth pastor and pastor, a member of the state youth board in South Carolina, one of our larger states. And so we got us a winner here, and Brother Scotty is world class, and so it'll be a great investment of their time.
And right there at the conference, not only at prayer conference but at Equip, we're going to be selling some shirts, and all of the proceeds from these shirts will go to help offset the cost for youth camp. We've got them. It's a new shirt we've designed. It says Illinois Made. And it just has the YD in it, and it says discipling students. And so you can pick one of these up at our youth and discipleship table at the prayer conference, and we'll have them available at Equip as well. So we're excited about that.
That's good.
I think it's going to be a great weekend.
Well, that reminds me, we haven't really talked about it, but I have two special offerings that will be received at prayer conference. And the first night will be our missions offering. So be thinking about that, and we'll be receiving a special world missions offering. But then Friday night, we'll be receiving a special offering for the youth department to help with the expense of youth camp, to help keep the rates down or from going up for our kids. And so it'll be a win for the whole state. So anyway, that's good. Well, that's about it, except anything else that I forgot? Yes. The deadline for the ordained bishops applications need to be in the office by February the 29th. If you want to get your ordination in by camp meeting and then be able to vote, be on the ordained bishops floor at the General Assembly, which is in Indianapolis. This will be I can't remember where they're going to be going in the future, but they plan these things well ahead, and I know they're not going to be in this area. So this is going to be your best chance to go to the assembly for several years. That's for all of us, all Church of God members. But if you want to be on the ordained bishop, you need to get that in by the 29th.
And we're taking the test on the 14th of March.
Is that when it is? Okay,
Yes,
I don't
sir.
have that in my notes, but I did have that. Thanks for pointing that out. So, anyway. All right, well, we always try to throw in a little leadership
Let's do it.
for this. And so I started, it's a passion of mine. And I honestly, guys, I think I mentioned this, I have not been a good student in my early years. They had to grade on the curve, as I say, to get me through Sunday school. But I won't bore you with the details, but God did a change in my heart, and I became an avid reader, an avid student. And I am convinced through the study of great leaders' lives and from the testimony of many men and women that I highly regard and respect. But here's kind of the thesis for this. It is impossible to have a sustained success in life, whatever ministry or whatever you're calling. It is impossible to have a sustained success in life without being an avid reader and student. And so it is very important to me to encourage people to read. And what I hear a lot, Brother Seth, and from your generation, you
Right.
guys are so tech savvy, and I get it. But well, Bishop, I listen to books, or I listen to podcasts. And I encourage that too. I do that as well. But actually reading is entirely different. It takes an entirely different skill, which it toughens your muscle. Your brain muscle. It will raise your intellect. You have to think.
Yeah, you do.
You have to stay with it. And so you can't those do not replace reading. So anyway, I challenged Brother Seth. I'm kind of playing the boss card a little bit. I don't usually play that card,
Slightly.
but I challenged him. I made a suggestion, wink, wink, that I wanted him to read. And I challenged him to read a book a week. And it took me a long time to get there. And I do that on average. I'll read at least a book a week, sometimes more. But I've been doing it for years. And so I've had a change of heart. Here's a guy learning a new job, got a baby boy on the way. He's got a life, and so we've adapted it a little bit. And so, but I'm pointing this out because I would like for you, especially the amazing Illinois Church of God ministerial team, but whoever, we got gals that watch this all over the world, really. Join us. We'll talk about this a little bit every week, the reading challenge, and the goal is to get you up to reading a book a week. All right, and it is doable, but here's the goal. Brother Seth, I'm going to encourage you, starting today, we're going to read a book a month. For the next 3 months, we're going to read a book a month. I'll introduce the book in just a minute. Mm-hmm. And then after that, we're going to read a book every other week, 2 a month for 90 days. And then after that, I believe you'll be in a position, it'll be a discipline in your life that you'll be able to read a book a week. Mm-hmm. And I want you to join us in doing this, because if you want to go to the next level in your life, if you want to leverage your life to be all that you can be, you're going to have to be an avid student. You're going to have to be a reader. Readers are leaders, and leaders read. And if you want to lead in your field what God's put into your hand to be a steward, it's going to require you being a student, an avid reader. And so, but it's like having a very close friend or coach or mentor in your life, mm-hmm. and they move in with you.
Right.
And to do that, you
got to make room.
You got to make room for it. And I realize that, and I'm asking you to have a new mentor in your life every week. That's, we're not running Hotel California here, and so you can check in, but you can never leave, kind of deal. And but I hadn't thought about that, but that is why you invite these great people into your life, these authors, mm-hmm. and they never leave you. They shape you forever.
Right.
But you do have to find the time to do. You have to readjust. You're going to have to readjust your priorities, your life. If you're ministers, you're working on sermons, so you're doing some reading, but you're not reading to grow. You're reading to build a sermon or build a lesson. Right. It's entirely different. So it takes a little while. And so this is the guy that's going to moving in with us right here. And this is a book that is called Order in Your Private World. And I would recommend, this is the most it's got more than 1 million copies sold. That is very rare. This book changed my life many years ago. The original copy looks entirely different, but this one's the latest edition and it's been updated. And I want to encourage, I've just read it again. I read it from time to time. It's got a study guide in the back. This is a paperback. I forget how much it cost. It didn't cost that much. And you can order it through Amazon. I've got mine on Kindle. I like Kindle a lot because I can cut and paste and email quotes to myself and add them to my quote log. But either way, you can get it very inexpensively. And we're going to be starting in next week. We'll talk about
talk about what we read.
Mr. MacDonald is moving in with you and is going to become a part of your life forever.
We welcome Gordon to the Brown family.
We're going to welcome Gordon to the Brown family. And a little side thing is that another side goal is to help Brother Seth and you to develop your thinking muscle by reading, becoming an avid reader. It'll change you forever. But I want you to read on purpose and intentional, because what we do, we gravitate to
what we like.
We like. There you go. And so I've got 16 categories that I systematically read over and over and over, and they're broad, and we'll walk through those over the next year. But this one made 4 of those 16 categories. One is my favorite authors. If there's an author that has an impact in me, then I systematically, when I read Gordon MacDonald, he'll go down to the bottom of the list, and the next guy, and when I read his, it'll go down to the bottom of the list. But I read everything they write, like C.S. Lewis is one. I just finished one by him. Just Hugh Ross, just several comes to mind that has really impacted my life. And so this is a favorite author. I read everything he's written. Then personal devotions, and then self-help. And then there are some books that I got it under must read again. There's some books I read ever so often, and so
this made that category.
This made that category. This particular book. So Seth, you got your work cut out. It's a busy week. You got prayer conference. You've got an equip conference. You're preaching next Sunday. Where are you going to be next Sunday?
Next Sunday, this coming Sunday, I'm going to be in McLeansboro.
Yes, you're going to be at Turning Point. Man, you're going to have to. This guy.
He's just going to go all over.
He is going to be an intrusion into your life. But you got a month.
Yeah,
you got a month. So he'll be a nice guest. He won't completely take over. But let's get started with it, and I'll be curious to see what you say next week.
Absolutely.
Anything else that we need to discuss?
I don't think so. I think we've crossed everything. What about you? You got anything else?
I'm doing good. You feel good about you're still happy you're in Illinois?
I'm still happy. We got some more snow this past weekend.
Yeah.
So it's just breaking us in good with this weather.
Well, it's been good. You're doing a great job. And looking forward to seeing you guys and gals on Thursday and Friday. Remember what I tell you almost every time. Let's keep running to win for the gospel's sake, becoming all things to all men and women, that by all means we may save some. And let's stay focused on the mission. Love you guys. I promise next time we'll try to have the table cleaned up. We're going to pass all that stuff off to people at prayer conference. Let's go get them. Yep.